First off, we got to hear Shaq now do this. Shaq is what? The 5th best center in the history of the NBA?
What?
Fifth.
What?
Shaq. What do you mean, what?
Who's the 4 ahead of Shaquille O'Neal? Have
like
you
me to
lost
name,
your
you want me
damn
to
mind?
name him for you?
What?
You want me to name
Sure,
him?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Kareem.
Okay.
Wilt.
No. I'm not giving it to Wilt.
No, you guys are crazy.
You're not giving it to Wilt.
No.
You're not going to put Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged 50 points a game and scored 100 a game in 30 minutes.
Who was a foot taller than 99% of the league?
The most dominant player in NBA history. Who was stopping Shaquille O'Neal in any era?
And Tim Duncan is better than he is. Tim Duncan's better. And I'll tell you something, 2 other guys.
That's not a center. Tim Duncan's
Elijah Wan is better.
Are these debate shows real or are they choreographed? After watching this episode, it really made me think. It made me think 2 things. First of all, why is this Mad Dog dude even on Firt Take? And the second thought I had is, does anyone actually find this stuff entertaining? I can tell you for sure who didn't find it funny, and that was Shaq, the big Aristotle. Shaq himself issued a Shaq attack, a smackdown of Mad Dog Russo. And you know that this little Mad Dog dude would never say this crap to Shaquille in person. I mean, not that Shaq would actually smack him. He's not like his partner on TNT, Charles Barkley, but I still don't think you'd say it to his face. And I definitely wouldn't want to piss off a man 7 feet 1 inches tall and 360 pounds. I wouldn't do it. So let me give you a little bit of backstory here. Stephen A. Smith, Jay Will, and Mad Dog, we're talking about who are the best 5 centers in NBA history. And then Mad Dog just came out with some ridiculous take on who he thought were the top 5 centers in NBA history. Let's take a listen and react to it.
They hear Shaq now do this? Shaq is what? The 5th best center in the history of the NBA? Fifth.
What?
Shaq. What do you mean, what?
Who's the 4?
That's why I thought this had to be choreographed. The look on both Stephen A. and Jay Will's face were like, what the hell are you talking about?
What ahead of Shaquille O'Neal? Have you lost your damn mind?
What? You want me to name him?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Kareem.
Okay.
Wilt.
No. I'm not giving it to Wilt.
No, you guys are crazy.
You're not giving it to Wilt.
No.
You're not going to put Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged 50 points a game and scored 100 a game in 30 minutes.
Who was a foot taller than 99% of the league? Yeah.
I'd have to put Wilt in the top couple centers in NBA history. I mean, damn, the dude did average 50 points a game. It's not his fault he was bigger than everybody else.
The most dominant player in NBA history. Who was stopping Shaquille O'Neal in any era?
And Tim Duncan is better than he is. Tim Duncan's better. And I'll tell you something, 2 other guys.
That's not a center. Tim Duncan's
Elijah Wan is better. You think Shaq? Moses
Malone was not Shaq.
Not a chance.
He was great, but he wasn't Shaq.
Help, Lord.
Malone led the league in rebounding 6 consecutive years.
Why is he screaming? I don't get why this guy just screams everything.
So what?
He won 2 MVPs.
So did Rodman.
Oh, you're nuts. Here's a question for you.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't even do a show with somebody who screamed like that.
Malone do with a bunch of cast-offs against Bird, Parrish, and McHale in the 81 finals. I looked it up today. 31 and a half and 17 rebounds.
Nobody is saying Moses Malone
in their history.
is a Hall of
36 and 15.
Moses Malone is a Hall of Fame.
In all the NBA finals, 37 to 15.
Jay, did he play?
You realize they're sitting a couple feet from each other, and this dude is screaming.
A great center in the NBA finals.
But now you're going to use it against him because of who he's playing against.
It doesn't matter who he would play against.
Yes, it does.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, it does. I'll give you another one. May I? I'm not done yet.
You're not allowed to talk basketball.
How many?
This is why I think it's choreographed. You're not allowed to talk basketball. We're going to put you on timeout.
What?
I'm putting you on punishment for talking basketball on this show for a week. You're not allowed. You're not allowed.
You are crazy.
You are
nuts. One other thing.
I can't take anything he says
One other thing.
So here they are just arguing about who they think are the best NBA centers out there. This guy, Mad Dog, says... He says Kareem. I don't think that's arguable. He says Wilt, which I think Wilt was one of the best centers in the NBA. Then he goes to Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon and then Moses Malone, which is odd because I can understand maybe the first 2, but you don't include Bill Russell on that list? I know it's dating everything, but Bill Russell won like 9 championships with the Boston Celtics. 9 championships. I'm pretty sure it was 9 as the center. And he was only like 6'9" or so. So he wasn't a really big guy, but damn, how do you omit Bill Russell from any list of the best centers ever? So after that happened, Shaquille O'Neal in his new podcast had an opportunity to respond. I'm going to let you hear what he says, and it's hilarious.
The most dominant center ever. I don't ever want to hear another name again.
First off, we got to hear Shaq now do this.
Who is that?
Shaq is
Chris Russo.
The fifth.
Who the fuck is that?
Chris Russo.
Who the fuck is that? Like, who is this rat talking shit about me? Are you kidding me?
So is a legendary New York radio host.
Legendary to who?
I love that too. Legendary. How is he legendary? I don't think many people outside of New York knew who Mad Dog Russo was until Stephen A. let him come on First Take.
He's in, I believe, the Hall of Fame.
No, legendary to you. He's not a legend
To Earthlings in the New York region.
Okay, got it.
Okay. What did you think after hearing that?
Okay.
And this is epic. Absolutely epic.
So I've programmed myself, because let's just get it straight. I will smack the shit out of that dude.
It wouldn't even be a fair fight. I'm sorry, it wouldn't even be a fair fight. I mean, I don't know how big Mad Dog is, but he's probably like 5'11", 5'10", probably 170 pounds or so, and Shaq would stomp him like a bug. So after he said, I'll smack the shit out of him, Shaq actually ranks himself. And I have to give him some credos for this, because he actually does a really good job in ranking where he thinks he should be in the history of NBA centers. Let's take a listen.
However, Kareem, yes. Wilt, only because he has more points than me.
All right, so he has said exactly, he agreed with Kareem and he agreed with Wilt Chamberlain. Remember, Stephen A. and Jay Will didn't want to put Wilt Chamberlain in the top 5. The Shaqaroo just said Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain.
The only thing about that upsets me about my career. Missed 250 games, right, at 25. That's another 5,000 points. That would have put me past Wilt. Miss a shitload of free throws. That would have put me past Wilt. So because...
Remember, even though he averaged 50 points a game and even scored 100 points in one game, Wilt Chamberlain couldn't shoot foul shots either. I mean, it was amazing how bad he was as a free throw shooter, but he was so dominant.
Because he has more points, I'll let that slide. But I wanted to pass him up. So I was going to boastfully and arrogantly say, I'm the most dominant center ever. I don't ever want to hear another name again. I passed Hakeem Olajuwon up. The King beat me. I came back and beat him. Moses was alone. I passed him up 4, 5, 6 years ago before I retired. So me, I will put myself at number 3.
And I have to agree with him. I think Shaquille O'Neal is arguably the 3rd best center in NBA history. I put, Bill Russell right there, maybe at number 4, if not number 3, but definitely Shaquille O'Neal is ahead of Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, and Tim Duncan. It's just how it is. So I think this Mad Dog dude, I can't stand to listen to him. And I do think that entire conversation that he had with Stephen A. and Jay Will was complete astroturf. It was completely choreographed. What kind of little dude calls himself Mad Dog? But I digress. And I'm not sure, but I'd love to hear from you. Do you enjoy listening to 3 hours of these guys screaming at each other? Based on the ratings of First Take, obviously a lot of people do. I can stomach Stephen A. sometimes. But this Mad Dog dude? No, not at all. He's annoying as and it seems Shaquille O'Neal 100% agrees. Let me know what you think. Who are the best 5 centers in NBA history? And should Shaquille O'Neal try to find Mad Dog in an alley somewhere? Talk to you soon.
What did you think after hearing that?
Okay, so I've programmed myself, because let's just get it straight. I will smack the shit out of that dude.